Why the fuck have you got a dildo in the car?
Hey guys, my name's CJ, welcome back to the channel. Today you join me taking a look at Stefan's awesome V8 swapped IS200.
I think the IS200 is lost in a world of people just wanting to skid and drift all the time. Don't get me wrong, the cars look amazing, and I am a sucker for a good looking IS200 drift car.
Of course.
But the chassis are a complete unsung hero. They're double wishbone on the front, the rear setup's phenomenal, the mechanical grip from the car is... Oh, I've had a couple of compacts, I know they're not the best example, but the rear end grip on a compact was rubbish.
Oh, you ledge, I wasn't expecting that. That was really super controllable though.
The breakaway is lovely.
Hence why they're a good skid car.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too good. I mean, you can't not smile and have fun in it.
No, not when you're doing stuff like that. So obviously you decided to go down the route of a V8. So what engine is this from?
So this, unbeknown to me when I bought it, is actually a Toyota Celsior engine, which is an import LS400 engine.
Okay.
VVTi variant, which I didn't know until a guy at Phoenix Engine Management, great guy, built my loom and did all my ECU stuff for me.
Sure.
And he said, you've actually got an import engine and ECU on your hands.
Oh wow.
Cool. No different to the UK variant.
No, but
anyway,
it's just you know, bragging rights.
Yeah, it's just cool to say that
it's
you've got...
JDM, yo. Like,
yeah,
that's
basically,
it.
C points.
So the swap itself, kind of how involved was that? Like what steps, what parts? Is there much like off the shelf you can buy, or is it real custom job?
Over the last year, if you're on the right pages and forums and stuff on Facebook, it's relatively easy. I mean, I think there's 2 or 3 companies. I think there's a company in the UK, Crest Motorsport, do it. I got mine from a company in Northern Ireland called Lexus Brake.
Nice.
They're just big into their IS200 stuff.
Makes sense.
Do conversion plates, all the mounts set up and everything, so that you can use the standard box in this. So relatively speaking, as far as the swap goes, it'd be like your old K20 into your EG. It's still a swap, and it's still not easy, but it's not hard.
It's not ridiculously custom.
Yeah, it's not like putting some ridiculous engine in something that shouldn't be there.
I love the sound of that shifter. It's really like mechanical, isn't it?
It is, it's proper nice.
Yeah.
Standard IS200 box. Actually, another cool thing, when I did the swap, I made the mistake, there's a shifter pin in the box, and for some reason I undid it and it didn't come out.
Okay.
So when I tried to pull the bell housing off, I bent the pin.
Oops.
So the bell housing is now, I can't get it off. The pin won't come out.
Oh no.
So lo and behold, IS200s are that common nowadays. I paid £30 for a gearbox.
What the hell?
30 quid for a box.
Does anyone else fit these with different gearboxes? Or is that like just the really common because it's just so cheap, it's just the way to go?
Generally speaking, unless you've got the money, because all the things like the W55 and the W58, which are like the manuals that come in Supras and Soras and stuff, if you've got a manual
just
one,
mega money, yeah.
they're like £2.5 grand, especially for a 6-speed Supra box.
Well, not when you can pick this up for this price, and it can obviously take it at this power, can't it?
Yeah, people say they're rated for about 400 foot-pound, and the engine NA makes 300 foot-pound, so it's well within its safety limits.
Yeah, perfect.
I know guys that have got more power and they're still running it and they're drifting it, but you've just got to be mindful of like clutch kicking it. V8, not a straight 6.
Yeah.
It ends up pulling the box 2 inches further forwards.
Okay, sweet.
So it does line up, and it's not too bad. You've not got to modify anything, but it is 2 inches further forwards. So I've cut the shifter down here, and I've kicked the shifter back, so it's angled further back towards me.
Well, that is short, isn't it? That's unbelievable. The only thing I can liken that to for that experience of really short was in an Impreza.
Yeah, but they got
their gear ratios are just like bang, 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 like just so quick. I mean, looking at the engine bay itself, it doesn't look like there's much room in there, so I can see why that was a challenge.
Yeah, it was mainly the steering shaft. I had to cut the side of the manifold out, and the bit that I cut out I flipped and I welded back into it backwards, so it's actually got like a scallop into the manifold for the steering shaft to go past.
Oh, excellent.
So luckily that fits good now.
What do you have to do mounts wise? Can you literally just use the sort of stock V8 ones and they just seem to line up perfectly with this, or?
Yeah, so basically the swap kit from Lexi Brake, you get different pedestals, so they bolt to the engine and then they bolt to the engine mounts.
Sure.
So he's made laser cut steel, and then they're welded for the IS200 mounts.
Cool.
So you can use any factory IS200 mounts, but obviously the IS200 mounts, they're liquid filled, oil filled, and they're rubbish. They're really soft.
Okay.
I ripped the original ones for my original engine, so I mocked the car up with the engine mounts that I had, and then there's a company in Russia called Team KFD, and they made like 4mm thick plates.
Sure.
And they're all pressed, and they've got massive bushes in them, but they're actually for a 1J.
Awesome.
So I found, there was nowhere on the internet that had said anything like what would fit, what wouldn't fit. But just looking at the mount and thinking, well, it's still Toyota based, surely the mount's going to be the same.
So you took a bit of a punt on it?
Yeah, so I spent 190 quid and spent all that money on some mounts that I thought might fit. But then if they don't fit, I'd probably be able to modify them and make them fit. And now I've got that.
What a result.
Yeah.
You don't see people really using them as a track car, do you? Like you say, it is just all... They're a pretty cheap car to buy.
Yep.
You know. And like you say, with either a bit of boost, a little cheaper engine swap, like they're a pretty reliable skid car.
Yeah. I mean, 200 brake horsepower or 220 like the Altezzas have, I think is absolutely perfect. It's just the right amount of power where you're not going to get silly, but you're still going to have fun. You can still do what you want to do in it. Whereas this is a tad more. It just makes the car a bit more usable in some aspects. The power is always nice. I mean, who doesn't want a bit more power? But
Exactly.
it's more the reliability as well. I mean, 1UZs never really go wrong. I mean, 1UZs that have got like 500,000 miles on them, so a low mileage one is going to take some track days.
What's the tuning potential NA?
Not much. There's Australian companies that do cams and stuff for them. But obviously they're a quad cam, so it starts getting really expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A standard one max, you might get 315 horsepower. It's been done, but at the same time, it's so much cheaper to just keep the factory ECU and keep the factory output, which I think is enough.
How challenging is it to kind of mate up the sort of IS400 engine loom with the 200 dash loom?
Right, so there's a guy called Chris,
Yeah.
called Phoenix Management. I'm fairly certain he used to be a Toyota approved like auto electrician. So he's big into Toyota wiring. I sent him my IS200 loom, engine loom, my IS200 ECU, and the loom for the 1UZ and the ECU for the 1UZ. He then stripped back the loom, cleaned it all, completely rewired it, put in a controller for the gearbox, so it still thinks it's got an auto box in the back of it.
Sure.
opened up the ECU, de-immobilised the ECU for the LS400, and then re-immobilised it with the ECU from the IS200. So
Awesome.
the immobiliser from the IS200 still works with the IS400 ECU.
Why the fuck have you got a dildo in the car?
Well, that's a funny story, that.
Go on.
We are, well, next week, me and a group of 6 of my mates are travelling to Scotland doing a shit car challenge.
Amazing.
So we had a £400 budget, had to buy a car, modify a car, and it's got to make it all the way as far north as we can get into Scotland in the Highlands, and then all the way back. None of us know what we've got, as in the other teams don't know what the other teams have got.
You confident in your car?
Oh yes. We have an absolute gem of a car that we paid nothing for. It's been to the moon and back. But I have every confidence that it'll make it to Scotland and back.
Oh mate, I can't wait to see that. God, I love the sound of a V8. That's a good little B-road car, isn't it?
Oh mate, it's so good. This is what I'm saying, it sticks to the road so well. I mean, it's not a great tyres at the moment.
Okay, what you got on it?
They're just all-season Falcon ZE313s.
Okay.
Very good tyre, a bit soft, so good in the summer, but they're really well in the wet. So I used to use a ZE914. Again, great all-season tyre, but normally run Advan 88Rs and everything, as I think most of the people do nowadays.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, mate.
I've really got a lot of time for Stefan's build. There's a lot to be said for a car that you can just build on your driveway and just have heaps of fun with. Honestly, too many cars now are just owned by the bank, and let's be fair guys, air ride, wheels and a wrap, that's just not a build. This has had blood, sweat and tears put into it, and if you liked it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So see you on the next one.